The war between Ukraine and Russia had an insane amount of casualties so far. But how can we end this war? How can we end this war as soon as possible? Hello, my name is Joe. I talk everything about geopolitics and macroeconomics, and today we will be talking about the steps that should be taken in order to end the war in Ukraine, in between Ukraine and Russia. We need to end this war as soon as possible in order to save humanity. It is a crisis. It's not just a war, but it is a potential, it has a nuclear potential. So it is quite a severe crisis. And in ideal scenario, it needs to be stopped as soon as possible. The first step would be to recreate diplomatic relationships and efforts with Iran. And obviously you might think, Iran? Why Iran? When seemingly Iran is not involved in this particular war at all. But allow me to explain. Allow me to explain, please. Iran is much more isolated country than people realize. Even though it's supposedly aligned with Russia, it's much more isolated than people truly realize. For example, during the 12-day war, Putin was heard during a meeting with the press, that the nature of the agreement between Iran and Russia does not involve military support during a war. It only refers to defensive support, meaning exchange of munitions, but not a military support in terms of necessary supporting them directly. This is, for example, one of the many reasons that Iran might feel much more isolated, because their neighbors are also worried. It's not just the Americans and the Israelis, but it's their neighbors are worried about the future of the Iran as well. They are a bit unpredictable in a sense, and so it's the nature of the government itself, due to the fact that it is so directly tied to religion. These type of the governments tend to be a bit unpredictable, and so it raises worries amongst different leaders, even amongst their neighbors. And so this creates a feeling of isolation, like Iran is on a lone island, like they are on their own, like they cannot fully rely on their allies, like they cannot fully rely on Russia and China, for example. This is a huge advantage. This is a huge advantage from our perspective. We should be creating a diplomatic relations with Iran. We should be recreating them and strengthening them. For example, one of the great ways to recreate and normalize relationship with Iran would be to send Witkoff and a diplomatic envoy with him in Iran, just as a sign of a mutual respect. Usually during these types of diplomatic efforts, it is a good ethics to bring a gift. I just looked it up online on Google. Normally, according to Google, in Persian traditions, in Iranian traditions, sweets are given as a form of gift between friends. I have to obviously remind everybody that any forms of foods or drinkables are usually not recommended to be made as a form of gift between state leaders. That is because people obviously might be scared that it's poisoned. So any type of foods, sweets or drinks are usually not recommended to be exchanged between leaders. On the other hand, one of the traditions in Iran is to exchange poetry books as a form of gifts and respect. And so, for example, bringing a poetry book, if Witkov would have a poetry book with him, that would be a sign of mutual respect, a truly sign of, strong ethics and genuine attempt for a true peace negotiations. Now, obviously, this goes without saying, but this poetry book should not be political. It should not have any other meaning that only it is a poetry. It cannot have any undertone, political undertone, because it could be seen as a sign of disrespect. It could be seen as a sign of some sort of a suggestion, some sort of suggestive content, underlining, undertone. So it must be apolitical, and therefore, usually leaders of different countries would exchange poetry books that are usually meant for children. Usually, any forms of books that are meant for children, then usually these types of, just short poetries, usually with a moral ending that has nothing to do with politics. These types of short stories written in poetry, usually meant for children, are a great way to show respect for the country, and definitely I cannot stress enough how important it is to pick a book that does not have political undertone. It is extremely important. So in an ideal scenario, hypothetically, it would be an American book that is most likely, it would be great if it was a poetry, probably meant for children, some old classic, a novel. Not novel, a poetry. Some old classic poetry that is it's extremely important not to be political, and then ideally there will be a note and a signature from Trump himself. And with this potential gift, Witkov would have easier time in Iran, and it would be definitely ideal to normalize relationship with Iran, and obviously demilitarizing our efforts towards Iran and stabilizing our relationship with Iran is a great way to start. It's a definitely recommended. A great way to start. So again, in this video we are talking how to end the war between Ukraine and Russia as fast as possible. And so you might be still surprised, why are we talking about Iran instead of any of those two countries that are currently in war with each other? Well, the reason is that Iran is a gateway to Russia. It is a first step. If we create and recreate diplomatic relationship with Iran, we will have smooth sailing into Russia. We will have a great gateway into Russia in order to recreate diplomatic efforts with Russia. If we show a true, genuine effort to recreate relationships with Iran, I am almost certain it will be well received in Kremlin. It will be well received by Putin himself. And so, true, genuine effort on a diplomatic scale like this would go truly a long way. Now, with all of this being said, I would love to end the video here, but please guys, do not go anywhere. You might not know this, you might be surprised, but I'm actually a writer too. I'm not just a content creator and video creator, I'm also a writer. I write a blog. It is amazing, unique, original, and a lot of fun. So if you find this video exciting, you will find the blog exciting as well, so make sure to check it out. Also, guys, make sure to smash that subscribe button, make sure to smash that like button, make sure to check out the video here, make sure to check out the video there and everywhere. And guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.